Today I'm going to show you about one of my favorite edtech tools called Tackk. It is something I just stumbled across about 2 years ago on reading some online posts from some teachers, and I tried it and fell in love with it. I use it quite extensively in my class. Actually last year I had my kids do an animal project with it, and I took it to the Georgetown County Schools Tech Fair, and my students, my two I chose to go, won first place in the creativity category for K through 2. So it was something they were really excited about, and I was too. It really showed me the power of this tool. It's a real quick and easy way to see what children know, and they don't have to be overly tech savvy to be able to use it. And I will show you why in just a second. Tackk is just an online tool. It is tackk.com. I'm gonna go back to Google just to show you. If you just Google tackk.com, it will bring it up. It is Tackk, create, connect, and chat with friends. If you click on that, it's going to bring up here. What's cool about Tackk is you do not have to register for it, but to be able to publish your stuff online and get the URLs, individual URLs, you need to. So what I've done is I'm going to log in. I'm going to go ahead and put my information in. And I have a generic class account I use as well, that way when they put it on, I can go back on and see what they've done. But when you log in, it brings this up. This is your your generic Tackk homepage after you sign in. If you see over here at the bottom, this is where you log in, and now you can search Tackk. You can go back home here. You have all these choices here. You have your home, you have your chat, you have these notifications. But where you really start is here on this green square with a pencil or crayon in the middle, as my students call it. If you pick there, he's going to see I'm doing one here. My son was messing with somebody and doing one about fishing. But I'm going to go down here to these other ones. There are 6: blank canvas, about me, Instagram, blog, school project, and chat. These are the ones you can pick from. I have tried to tell my kids to go from blank canvas, but it makes it a little bit more difficult for me because I have to choose everything. So basically it's just like it says, create from scratch the blank canvas like an artist would. Just to make it a little more simple on them, just to give them a little less steps to do, I'll tell them to choose school project. So that's what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to choose school project, and it's going to open it up for me. School project always opens up looking the same exact way, with the blue background, the orange words, and this picture of a map where the photos go. This is all very generic. It's very simple to use. It's just click and type, point and click type things. But what we're going to do, we're going to start here, and I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what my son was doing last night about a fish, and I'm going to put a pic. Mine is going to be about my daughter McKinley and her first fish. The first fish she caught fishing with me, her brother, and her grandfather 2 summers ago. This is just something that I've been talking about fishing my son a lot, and just something that caught me. I said this would be an easy way to show you what I'm talking about. So I put my title in. You can see it's orange. Well, I'm a Carolina fan, so I don't really want orange. So I'm going to go to my first color and pick colors here. What's interesting about colors, it not only changes the font color, it also changes the background color. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick this, like this burgundy one right here. It's going to change to a dark burgundy background, but you see it changed McKinley and her first fish to a greenish color. So you kind of have to go through. The scroll bar for this menu is right here on the side. It's kind of hard to show up sometimes. It will disappear, and it's very hard to get back. The kids struggle with that sometimes, so to tell them the easiest way to do it is to put their cursor in the middle and just use their little wheel on their mouse to scroll up and down. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna pick one. I kind of like this blue here, the 80s. I'm gonna make that because it's a nice blue background, a nice dark title font color, so I'm gonna leave it that. I like this. I'm gonna leave this like it is, real simple. Next I'm gonna go to fonts. The children really love this because they can just scroll up and down and pick fonts. What makes this really cool is I'm going to pick Hammersmith 1. When I change my font and click on it, it automatically changes what I have up here. So if I change to Fredoka 1, it's automatically going to change, and I can just keep scrolling up and down through my list till I find the one I want. I can make it look fancy. I can make it look, shadowed out. I can change all kind of stuff on it. Architect's Daughter is one of the children's favorite one. Another one they really like is Love You Like a Sister, just because it looks, as they say, kitty. Crushed is another one they like. I'm going to use permanent marker just because it's a little bit thicker and capitalized, and it looks more like something I would do if I was handwriting it, which is kind of where I want to go with this. I want it to look a little bit like handwriting, and I do a lot of print capitals when I write like this. So I want to be a little bit like that. I want to leave it like that. Alright, I'm happy with how my title looks now, so I'm going to go over here now to my patterns. Patterns changes the background pattern. I'm gonna go through, because it's McKinley and Logar, I'm gonna do chevron, because I assume that's still a popular thing. I really don't know, but you see, you have all these others. You have stripes, big squares. You can do angles. You can do screen door. You can do all this kind of stuff. Topographic like a map. Dark wood, that one's kind of cool because it changes the look. I'm actually going to stick with dark wood because I like the way that looks for this fishing theme I'm going to be talking about with this. So I have my Tackk set up how I want it now. Now I'm going to start putting in my pictures and things, and this is really, really simple. You just go to add photos, and it gives you 4 choices. You can search, you can upload, you can Instagram, you can from a URL. What URL is, if you're in like Google Images or looking at an image online and you want to use that image, you want to bring it into Tackk, if you would right click on it and go to the properties and copy the URL from it, you can paste it into here and it will bring that picture in. The only thing is, if it's too big, sometimes it'll turn it sideways and do weird things to it. So just kind of play with it a little bit and check it out and see what you think. But I'm going to upload one, and I'm going to upload it from my Dropbox to my camera uploads in my kids folder, because this is one I took on my camera of her. And I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. This is the image I'm looking for. This is McKinley. It'll upload it for you. And when it does, it'll stick it right in the middle. Now, you notice it's kind of large. It's pretty big, top to bottom. But that's what I want it to be. It's got a good picture of her smiling. It's got her holding the fish. Things like that. As you can tell, this is a happy picture. And I really like it. So I'm just going to use this and leave it like it is. So I'm going to just leave this. I'm happy with it. And I'm going to move on to my next thing here. Now you have your done button at the bottom. Once you're done with it, click done, and your picture is set. It's kind of big, so if you want to change it, you can resize it by going to the settings at the top, clicking on settings and resize, and it will shrink it up a little bit for you, kind of put a border around it. I'm going to do that just so I can keep this continuous white border around it. I kind of like how that looks, just to break it up a little bit, because if I go back to the large size, it meets with this blue, and I really don't like how that goes together. So I'm just going to shrink it back down a little bit like that, make it a little bit easier, more visually appealing. I'll do something else with this picture in the background in a few minutes, and that you'll also see why I did that. But down here under this says create a Tackk with pictures, maps, and so on. If you want to change that, you can click on it, and you can just start typing. And I'm just going to put McKinley and her fish like a little caption, so everybody know what that picture is. If you didn't already know from the top, it says McKinley and her first fish. I'll put it back down at the bottom now. The students will they'll try to put paragraphs in that part. I have to tell them no, just use that as a caption, and we go back and talk about informational text and things like that, and the headings and captions they see, and how they know what pictures are about. So that's a good way to tie that back into this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more element just for simplicity's sake, and I'm going to go ahead and we'll just talk about some more about this program here. But I'm going to go right here to this A, is headline. If I want to put a headline here, I can do that, but right beside it is text. I want to add a little bit more text. I already have my headline. I'm going to use my title as a headline, put my your message. I'm going to put this is, sorry. The day she caught her first redfish. She outfished her brother, grandfather, who fishes all the time, and even me. So you know, by outfishing all 3 of us, she was just ecstatic about her day, and I was too. I was really proud of her that day. So we actually kept the fish and brought it home for her and things like that. But this is a real quick example of a Tackk. I use it in my class to see what my kids know really, really quickly about social studies and science, even language arts and math, things like that. I've done it with historical figures as animals, I said. This year I'm not really sure how I'm going to use it, but I do know I am going to use it in my class. But once you get all this done, I'm going to show you 2 more things, and we'll finish up. Right here, back to the menu, edit menu, go to the 4th one, you have options. This is something that I found a few years ago. I never have shown a kid. One of my students, I want to show you. If you scroll down a little bit, there's a photo background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go right back to this same thing, and I'm going to pick that background of her again. I'm just going to redo this picture, and once it loads up, it's going to stick it in the back behind her, and I'm going to change my dark wood background to her, and you can see it's kind of washed out looking behind that wood, gives it just like another little touch. I showed her that, and she actually liked it, so I'm just going to leave it like this now. So and I want to be able to save this. You want your kids to be able to save this and show you things like that. So if I come down here to publish Tackk, I'm going to publish my Tackk, and what it does is once I've signed in, it says your Tackk is now live. All these people are online, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't care about any of that, so I'm going to X all that out. Only part I care about is this part right here, right underneath it, where it says their unique URL. This is what I need to be able to check their work. So I'm going to copy it, and then what I do with mine, I just open up Word, open up to a blank document, and I just paste it, and I will put beside it who did it. So when I go back later on to check them, I can open my document back up, right click and open, and here is the Tackk. I can run through and look at it. But that's a real quick and simple look at Tackk. I hope you can find some way to use it in your class. I love it and hope you find it as powerful as I do.